To be relevant with the headlines, because usually we're talking about headlines at this time on Iowa Live. Of course, a lot of that focus has been with Iraq and Iran right now. So we thought it'd be very important and kind of informational to bring in a veteran who's been there, who's seen action, to talk a little bit more about that and kind of give us a perspective of what those brave men and women and soldiers that are over there right now might be experiencing. So Brian O'Keefe, thank you for joining us this morning here on Iowa Live. We've talked to you before as being a veteran, but kind of remind everybody how many tours you've done and where you've served.
Well, I joined in '82, so I did active Army in Germany. I did a tour in '03 in Iraq. '08 I was on missions in Colombia, South America. 10, 11 was Afghanistan and Iraq. 13 Afghanistan, 15 Afghanistan, and part of 16 I was in Afghanistan. So.
Wow. Now, 48 hours ago, Brian, there were millions of people around the globe very nervous about what the situation was because things got heated in a rather short order, and we wanted to get your perspective on what is really going on.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, as a service member, as a friend, as a citizen, you know, of this country, you know, I have concerns, you know, for everyone's safety, as you do. But yeah, I got a friend over there in Kuwait right now, so I did send him a text and check on him, and he's doing well. You know, looking at the potential globally, yeah, we're obviously a superpower, and Iran has some military force and capabilities, as they demonstrated here recently, the other day. So gratefully, Noah's injured.
Yeah, that surprised you when they were reporting some of the things that were going on, that there were no casualties on either side?
It is. You know, in Afghanistan, we have some of the locals and that aren't quite as skilled, you know, shooting rockets and mortars at us. You know, I had up to 50 in 1 month while I was in Afghanistan. So it's not something you're, as a veteran, you've experienced that before. But yeah, their capabilities. I am surprised that they didn't hit anything significant. Grateful for that, and you know, some apparently didn't even go off. So.
Can you kind of take us into what that's like some moments that you experienced? Because for many of us, we're never going to experience traveling to Iraq or Iran, especially in kind of a tumultuous time like we are in right now. Right. Take us through, what is it like, let's say, being flown in to that area?
Yeah, we landed in Kuwait and stayed there for about 20 days till our helicopters arrived. And then once we went into Iraq, I was with the 101st, flying the UH-60 Black Hawk. So I had multiple missions, but yeah, the first time, you know, you cut your teeth when that first Scud missile comes overhead and you hear the sirens and you put your mask on and you hear the impact, you realize, hey, this is real, and I'm in a place that's unfamiliar, unfriendly, and there's people out there that are expecting us to come after them, and so we're both have a very heightened sense of
you said you heard
reality.
The impact. How far was the impact from where you were?
Well, in this case, it was the significant one was when the morning I went into Iraq, a Patriot missile shot down a British Tornado airplane right above us. So we heard the launch, we heard the impact and the explosion of a NATO aircraft being shot down over our head the morning of March of '03. So that was really humbling to know that, you know, the system doesn't work as well as we like because we shot down one of our own. But yeah, that was a scary moment for sure.
So what was going through your head when all this unfolded this past week?
I was first of all thinking about the big picture. Could this possibly happen? Would we go, you know, take it to a full scale ground conflict? The minimal numbers that we currently have there, but in '03 we were staging with 20,000+ in one spot, you know, 30 miles from the Iraqi border, and they would launch rockets at us. When you watch the intel and the imaging of the Iraqis staging 30 miles away, pointed right at you with tanks and people, knowing that, you know, in 24 hours I have to fly in and around these people that are expecting us. So. Now thinking of the 82nd Airborne that went over there, they're a quick response force. You know, they get land and they're humping ammo and food and everything on their backs. You know, the flights over there is you know, just to go from getting a call like I did at 2 in the morning, say show up at 4, and 20 hours later you're on a plane headed to the Middle East, and you know, next thing you know you're sitting in the sand and eating sea rations and drawing your combat loads for yourself and for your aircraft, and trying to figure out, is this for real? So I'm grateful that the leadership and everyone's kind of, as they say, hopefully it's a permanent pause. No one's capable of taking America on directly as a land-based force. No one can stand up to our technology and our commitment of our soldiers and airmen and Navy personnel. So, maybe some select targets here and there in the near future. I highly suspected that plane that crashed was probably shot down accidentally by Iranian forces. You have different switches on your surface-to-air missiles, and I'm sure with knowing that we had them on our radar, that they were probably hypersensitive. And sadly, a bunch of not Americans but Canadians and civilians were actually killed.
Innocent lives, yeah.
Yep.
It just kind of takes you in the mindset of the reality of what a soldier has to go through, from you're getting a call to saying be here in a couple of hours, and your life completely changes so that you can serve our country. It becomes even more of a reality when we have the headlines that we've had in the last 48 hours. So we again want to say thank you for your service. Thank you for sharing some of kind of the backstory of what you've experienced, and now some other soldiers will be doing so as well. And yes, we can only hope and pray for a peaceful outcome to everything that's happened. But thank you for some insight of what that looks and feels like for a soldier this morning.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Being here.